If you watched the last video on the Ultra Cruiser, you know I put the engine mount holes in the fuselage so I could put the Rotax in there. Well, I got the new metal in to readjust that so I can use the half VW. Right now, I'm going to continue working on the mounts that go on the side of the case. I've got the case mounting holes drilled. I've got the rubber mounts drilled in one of them, so I need to go ahead and finish drilling this side, and then we can weld on the little spacer pads. Once that's done and cool, then we can go to drilling on the case to mount them in place there. Okay, got the locations marked on the piece. I'll start making a hole in it. One more. All the holes are drilled. Now we just need to weld these pads on. The thing will hook to the engine like this. The pad goes on the top side. We'll position it, over the hole, and then we'll weld right along there. Pads are welded in position. So now we can go trim them up a little bit and get them ready to fit on the engine. Got the corners rounded off, belt sanded across here to flatten out the weld where the little rubber motor mounts will set. So now, got to polish up this side of the motor, grind off the lettering and just smooth it out. I did this side because they will be bolted and epoxied to the side of the case. So I'll get that done, then we can start fitting and drilling holes. It is time to make some holes in the case. Now this casting line right here, from my measurement, should be right where the top of the angle goes. So we'll line that up. And as far as the backing plate, as far as how it goes that way, the center of this hole should be 3/4 in from the edge. And that center of that hole should be lined up with the edge of the backing plate. So we'll line it up like that, line it up at the top, drill 3 holes. There's a casting piece on the inside right here. And then there's another channel here, so that will boom, boom, boom. Come in between those so we can put the washers on the inside and screw it to the case. Okay, we got that side drilled. Got the bolts in the piece. And that looks pretty much spot on. Now I just have to do the other side, then we'll take the case apart, check what's inside. Go ahead and put the proper washer on there, see how everything lines up. There they are, stuck on both sides. Fortunately, I double checked the height on that one. That casting line on that side was a little different than the other, so I had to move the bracket up just a little bit. When I put it on the nose of the plane, when I redo the bolt holes for the mounts, I will set this on there and make sure everything lines up perfectly when I drill the holes for the new mounts. Make sure it lines up with what I've got on the case, because the case will stay the same. And now I just need to split it apart, put the washers and the nuts on the inside, and then we can set it on the front. There we've got the case split. You can see where all the holes went into a nice, relatively flat area in the case. So we can put a big washer on it. I think it's a 970 by 3 washer. And a nut. Not totally happy with the way these fit down in there. You can try to get the light right, guys. That one, see, it's not laying in a perfectly flat area in the bottom of the case. So those 970 by 3 washers is what it calls for. It ends up bending them like this middle one if you try to tighten it down. So I think, and I don't want to do that because that kind of side loads the bolt. So I think what I'll do on final assembly is go in with a square edged burr and radius around the hole just a little bit. There's all kinds of meat in that curve. So I'll just make a spot for the, probably cut the washer down just slightly in certain spots to make it fit really well, but level that floor out, or level that sidewall out to where that washer will fit nice and flush and flat. Other than that, that ought to work good. Bolt the one on the other side, put the case back together, and we can set it on the plane. And look at that, the little half bug is setting in the fuselage for the first time. Thing looks pretty good. I have no complaints with it. Everything today went pretty good. The only issue is those washers on the inside of the case, but that should be no problem with a little bit of grinding here and there. And that gives me an excuse to get a new tool. I've got lots of die grinders, big ones, small ones, right angle, but I don't have one with the extended nose on it so I can reach down in there. But I bet by the end of the weekend I will. Like and subscribe if you want to keep following this video series, and I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.